I didn't call myself a hero. I didn't call myself a role model. My fans did. And I think I'm tangible. They relate to me because I've got so many scars on me, you know, and I'm still standing.
There are many who say Hulk Hogan is the WWE. It's not a difficult argument to make. He helped make wrestling entertaining with his over-the-top persona while also showing skill in the ring. He took his fans with him when he left. Constantly putting his life on the line in matches left him with more than emotional scars. His health got worse than any amount of training or preparation could handle. He recently died and left behind a powerful legacy for his fans. Keep watching as his children reveal what his final words were. How Hulkamania began. When Hulk was still Terry, he was a shy, fat child. He wasn't into playing sports, particularly contact sports. He tried music instead, and was in a band until the members moved on to different pursuits. Then he tried wrestling. It was like a workout and an adrenaline rush all in one. It even let him indulge his love of telling stories. He couldn't help but love it. He helped the world of sports entertainment flourish even back when the WWE was called the WWF. His most memorable match was against the 7-foot-tall Andre the Giant.
Back. Well, my inserts up here where my back's supposed to, I got a big hole in my back from turning him. But
was that worth it?
Yeah, that was a one-time deal for me.
It changed the world of wrestling and his life. It created a craze known as Hulkamania, where no matter where he went or what attitude he had in the ring, the fans followed. As he said,
That moment changed my whole career because Hulk Hogan was off and running, Hulkamania was off and running, that put me on a rocket ship.
He even had the honor of being on Sports Illustrated. No other wrestler had ever been on it before. In fact, as he once said in an interview,
it's never happened since. I've been the only wrestler ever to be on the cover. And at the time, we had not deregulated wrestling, which means we didn't tell the people that it's actual exhibition and we know who's going to win or lose. At the time, we were still fighting that fight, you know, saying, you know, this is a real sport. And I think Hulkamania just got so popular and it was such a cult following that Sports Illustrated really didn't have a choice.
Hulk's growing faith. Hulk always had an exaggerated, energetic personality in the ring. Behind the scenes, he began to feel like something was missing. What brought him back from the brink was getting in touch with his faith. It was such an important decision, he decided to immortalize it with a tattoo. As he described it,
I was sick and tired of myself. You know what I mean? Just the two people in here, my real self and the ego. And I decided to turn back to my faith. And one of the things I did was I put that crazy tattoo on my back, immortal, meaning, you know, I accepted Christ as my Savior, and He died for my sins, and I live forever. So I put that on my back, and so many people think, oh, it's the immortal Hulk Hogan, the ego trip. But no, it was for that reason that I did that.
Spreading his faith became the most important thing to him. It was even more important than wrestling. As he said,
none of that stuff was real. The only thing that is really real is the stuff that's going to last forever. You know, your faith and your belief in God, and knowing that, you know, once you're a Christian, you've accepted Christ as your Savior. You know, you're not going to perish, but you're going to have everlasting life. That belief in itself and that faith is what's pretty much the only thing that's real to me. You know, everything else is kind of like a life situation, but that's my life after life after life.
Failing health. This wasn't the only major change in his life in his later years. As he got older, Hulk eventually began to realize he couldn't keep up with the current tide of the WWE. In one of his last interviews, he spoke about how quickly new talent can come in and out and overwhelm old talent. He said,
it's going to be the survival of the quickest draw, because once you get on that level, everybody's gunning for you.
However, not many fans knew just how much his health was beginning to decline. He went to the hospital for care for almost every body part imaginable. He even gave a list of his injuries in an interview.
I've had 17 surgeries in the last 10 years.
Oh my God.
My knees, I've had 3 or 4 surgeries on my knees, each knee before I had them replaced.
What's not original here?
The knees are fake, the hips are fake, the back's full of metal, and part of my face is full of metal.
Oh my God. Tell me about the injuries.
But I've still got like teeth marks on my finger. There's an eye tooth there with teeth marks of people trying to bite my fingers.
Oh my God.
Had my eye reconstructed a couple times from getting hit in the face. Nose broken 13 times. All these teeth, these fake teeth, have been knocked out 6 times. So it's been a wild ride.
Hulk eventually admitted he should have retired sooner. Money was the carrot at the end of the stick that kept him going. Rumors began to spread weeks before his death that he was in a coma or dying after he hadn't appeared in public. Radio personality Todd Clem, also known as Bubba the Love Sponge, claimed in June that he was hospitalized and in critical condition. He even said family members were called to say their goodbyes. Hulk's representatives pushed back against the claims. They admitted he was in the hospital for his back and neck issues, but was, quote, by no means on his deathbed. Hulk's wife, Skye, dismissed the rumors at the time. She said, quote, no, he's definitely not in a coma. His heart is strong, and there was never any lack of oxygen or brain damage. None of those rumors are true. Hulk's death. Hulk Hogan died at age 71 on July 24, 2025. He had a sudden cardiac arrest at his Florida home. The Clearwater Fire Department and police received an emergency call at 9:51 a.m. Paramedics rushed in and began CPR on him for over half an hour. They were still attempting to stabilize him when he was transported to an ambulance at 10:28 a.m. He was taken to Morton Plant Hospital. He received immediate medical attention, but was pronounced dead soon after arriving at 11:17 a.m. The police say they're conducting a standard investigation into his death. They don't suspect any foul play or suspicious activity at this time. Hulk Hogan's children reveal what his final words were. Hulk's family released a statement on his social media account soon after his death. It revealed the announcement of his death and emphasized that their privacy be respected during their time of grieving. Hulk's son also released his own statement. He thanked everyone who had reached out to comfort him in the last few days. He also explained that Hulk and his son spent his last days together. Nick had moved to Florida to be closer to his father. Before his death, he thanked him for everything he'd done and told him how much he loved him. He says, quote, my dad was the most incredible person I've ever known and will always be my hero. He was the most kind, loving, and amazing father anybody could ask for. Rumors about his other children. Hulk's relationships with his other children have been a bit rockier, and that makes them perfect media fodder. They've chosen to come clean after his death and clarify what it was really like to have him as a father. Brooke Hogan Alexi gave a moving tribute. She posted on Instagram that, quote, my dad's blood runs through my veins. His eyes shine through my children, and our bond has never broken, not even in his final moments. We had a connection deeper than words, one that spanned lifetimes. There had been stories of Brooke splitting with both of her parents. She clarified all the details of the story. They did have a falling out after he married Skye. It was exacerbated by Hulk trying to manage her singing career, as shown on their reality show Hogan Knows Best. He was being too pushy, and when he wouldn't step back, she had to go away. She went no contact with both of her parents for her own emotional health. Brooke never forgot about her father. She was there for him in his final days as much as she could be. They had private phone calls about what was weighing on his heart, literally and figuratively. Like Mike, she moved to Florida to be closer to him through the 25 surgeries he had to endure. Then there came a point when he didn't want her to attend the procedures with him. It wasn't the actions of a man who wants to stay away from his daughter. It was more like evidence he wanted to protect her from seeing how much his health had declined. Brooke did give Hulk physical space over the past 2 years, but it didn't end their connection. Her husband, Steve Oleski, remained in contact with him without her knowing. Brooke and Hulk had one final one-on-one phone call 2 weeks before his wedding to Skye. She told him she loved him and urged him to focus more on his health than his job. He also apologized for their estrangement. It wasn't until Steve let her know about her father's passing that she even knew. Despite their challenging times together growing up, she was devastated by the news. Brooke is grateful she got to hear her father tell her he loved her one final time. She also feels at peace knowing she did all she could for him during his life. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Hulk Hogan? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.